Welcome to the ANC's annual Festival of Greed, the 2025 budget speech, the only event where the ANC pretends to care about the people while plotting new ways to rob them blind. Watching them is like watching a group of hyenas giving a TED Talk on veganism, fake, insulting, and completely detached from reality. For the second time in a row, the ANC's budget has crashed and burned like an Eskom transformer during load shedding. It's like handing Beki Celi a crime-fighting plan and expecting results. The only thing the ANC knows how to do efficiently is make excuses. And their brilliant solution to South Africa's collapsing economy: tax the poor, protect the rich, and act like they're heroes in their own disaster movie. But the truth is, they're not just the villains. They're the directors, producers, and stars of this national tragedy. Let's start with the man of the hour, Enoch Godongwana, the Minister of Finance who thinks solving poverty means taxing the poor until they can't afford oxygen. His idea of economic growth? Raising VAT by 1% over 2 years. Because apparently when the people are starving, you just need to take away what little food they have left. Enoch's entire philosophy is like trying to cure a headache by chopping off someone's head. And his excuse for not taxing the rich? It'll put more people on the 350 Rand grant. Enoch, the only people you're putting on the 350 Rand grant are the ones you keep bleeding dry. This man would tax a homeless person's cardboard box and call it economic policy. Oh, of course, because asking billionaires to pay their fair share would apparently cause the apocalypse. Meanwhile, the ANC treats social grants like cheap band-aids for gaping wounds they keep creating. That's like dumping water on a burning building and then blaming the ashes for not rebuilding themselves. The ANC loves telling the poor to tighten their belts, while their own belts are made of gold-plated crocodile leather. And their idea of sacrifice? Making sure you starve just so they can add another luxury car to their collection. Cyril Ramaphosa, Mr. New Dawn himself, the man who promised to save South Africa but instead delivered a nightmare. Cyril's idea of leadership is about as effective as Eskom's power supply. And his excuse for everything? We are attending to the matter. Cyril, the only thing you're attending to is your offshore bank account. Cyril, you spent more time explaining why your farm was stuffed with dollar bills than actually running the country. And when the ANC says they're saving South Africa, what they really mean is saving their money, preferably hidden under mattresses or in offshore accounts. Paul Mashatile, Mr. I'm Too Rich to Care, the man who collects mansions like Pokemon cards. While the rest of South Africa is counting coins to buy bread, Paul's counting properties like he's playing Monopoly in real life. And you know what? He's winning. Paul Mashatile's driveway has more security than the entire SAPs combined. This man's lifestyle is so lavish, even billionaires are taking notes. While you're being told to tighten your belt, Paul's just busy expanding his collection of luxury mansions like he's on some kind of richest man alive mission. Gwede Mantashe, the fossil fuel fanatic who thinks coal is the answer to everything. This guy's idea of progress is digging deeper holes and praying the world doesn't catch on. He's like that uncle who insists a Nokia 3310 is the peak of mobile technology. Gwede, if you were any more outdated, you'd be sold as an antique. Gwede acts like coal is the only thing keeping South Africa from collapsing. Meanwhile, we're the only country on Earth trying to power the 21st century with 18th century technology. At this point, even cave people would call Gwede's policies prehistoric. And Blade Nzimande, the Minister of Higher Education who's been promising free education longer than Jacob Zuma's been promising to pay back Nkandla. Blade's idea of free education is making students wait so long, they're collecting pension checks before they get their degrees. Blade talks about free education like it's a mythical creature. It's coming soon. Just wait, Blade. We've been waiting longer than the ANC's been making excuses. And guess what? The only thing you've delivered is disappointment. The ANC's idea of sacrifice is demanding that you pay more while they gorge themselves on luxury. Their idea of economic recovery is transferring your money into their personal accounts. And when you complain, they blame apartheid, capitalism, colonialism, and even the weather if it helps them get away with their greed. Their definition of leadership? Take from the poor, protect the rich, and call it progress. The ANC isn't fixing South Africa. They're feeding off it like parasites. They don't want the country to improve, they just want to make sure their lifestyles stay intact. The ANC is not leading South Africa. They're looting it. They're parasites feeding off the suffering of their own people. And the worst part? They have the nerve to call themselves leaders. But here's the truth. The real enemy isn't poverty. The real enemy is the ANC.